Some days you might not get a call back. Before you got it, boy, you lost it. All that you talking, put it in a coffin instead of me. I can't be wasting my time, just be sounding like lies. Oh, I can't be one of your sides. I know this hard to cry when I'm screaming out. Get money. Every time you say you love me, I be saying get money, get money. I be on it, cause I'm getting to the money. You ain't doing nothing for me, so it's forever and get money. Probably got a girl in a couple slides. Oh, you don't go no more, boy, but don't need to see your crib, love of mine. I ain't the one to go when I'm on your mind. Oh yeah, that's big facts. I'm tired of hearing where your man at. I'm single and unavailable. I don't even know where they be waiting for. Cause I can't be wasting my time, just be sounding like lies. Oh, I can't.
All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome. This is Crystal with Rolling Out. And of course, from Crystal XO, welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys come on in. I see you guys are here tonight. Here tonight for Miss Morgan. I love it. I love it. Here tonight to hear the conversation. Morgan is joining us in a few minutes. I just want to make sure that we all are here. And you guys, hey, Prashana, hey, Felicia, hey, Edna, make sure that you drop those XOs in the comments so I can know that you guys are able to hear us and we can get ready for this conversation. I see Private Person has the popcorn ready. I'm excited about tonight's conversation as well. Outside of that, I'm wondering, we're going to have Morgan come on in and we're going to talk about the entire season of Ready to Love. If you guys have specific questions, and I know that you guys do, I know you have specific questions, you can make sure that you put those in the chat and I will get to those. So I'm getting ready to bring our beautiful girl on in just a second. But I'm glad, like I said, glad that you guys are here, glad that you guys are ready for the conversation. I enjoyed the conversation with Dre. That was quite interesting. You guys had a lot to say about our last conversation with Dre. A lot to say about that. The ladies were feeling Dre. Actually, most of the comments for Dre were in support, which is different than we had all season. So we're going to bring Miss Morgan in and get right into it. Let's bring the beautiful woman in. Hey, lady. Hey, girl. You know what?
Hey, girl.
I want to see all of you. I want to see all of you. That's better.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You got a little, okay. I love it.
Okay.
Welcome, Morgan.
Hi, Crystal. Crystal, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. I'm so
Good.
glad to have you here. The chat is ready. Everybody's excited to have you. To have you here.
Bless you.
Thank you. I got on my pink and you got on your power red. I'm not mad at it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, I was telling people we had an interesting conversation with Dre.
Okay.
And it was interesting. I think that it's important for everybody to be able to come on and tell their side because on the show, we only get a chance to see the edit. We don't get a chance, and there's so much more that happens behind the scenes. So we really want you to come on and be able to kind of share your perspective of the things that we didn't see on the show. But before that, I was listening to one of your interviews and you mentioned that you had met Anthony on a dating site. And then you also mentioned that you were not doing dating, you were not doing social, the online dating anymore. So I was wondering, like, I did that before, I quit.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know from you, like, what was your experience like in Miami? Because we hear so many people are saying that it's difficult for Black women to date in Miami. So what was going on the online dating sites with you?
Flooded inbox and zero possible connections.
Okay.
I mean, I just think it's pointless. At some point, when you're on these dating apps, it just becomes, to me, another platform for social media.
Mm.
You just swiping. And somebody pictures looks, good enough, you get on there, but what's the odds? So I just found myself wasting a lot of time, going on a lot of pointless, dates, outings. And I just didn't like it. It's important to meet people in person. I don't know you from your picture, if that's even your picture.
Fact.
So for me, I just want to meet people first, face to face.
Yeah. Where else? Because I know I think now it's gotten kind of difficult with dating because most people don't meet face to face. But before the show, what was going on in your dating life? Because I have a very hard time believing that you were not dating, and most of the cast, like what you guys were all probably dating. Most, it's beautiful people on that show. No way that you didn't have anybody that was possible in your life before the show, Morgan.
And of course, I had some possibles, Crystal. Of course. My thing is, I just haven't met someone great enough.
Okay.
Like, if you coming into my life, you have to come with the same energy that I'm coming with, which is full speed ahead.
Hmm.
I know what I want. I know what I'm ready for. I know what I'm looking for. And I just haven't met anyone to match my energy.
Okay.
And, it kind of sucks because I do have a lot to give, but I
Yeah.
learned the hard way to just kind of pull back and watch and take
Okay.
notes. So I'm just waiting for that person that's going to, you know, allow me to be me.
So what is Morgan looking for? Because I'm sure there's a lot of men out there that want to fit that bill. So what characteristics are important to you outside? I'm not talking about what we saw on the show, but just like outside of that, what are you attracted to? Let's talk about physical first, because that's easiest, and then
Hmm.
characteristics. I heard you say that you like tall, dark, and handsome. I think most of us do.
But can I just say something real quick? For all you like 5'4s and under, back off. Just
Oh,
back up,
yeah,
please.
Morgan.
Can you please? Because I am 5'7", a good 5'11" in some heels. I need him more than you, sis.
Okay, first of all, I'm offended, Morgan, because I am 5'2.5". Okay, I am 5'2
Listen,
and a half.
you
And
can do 5'9", 5'10" comfortably.
Morgan, you know what? Another Ready to Love. In fact, the first series of Ready to Love, I I interviewed one of the girls, and she was like, "What are you doing?" Because I was like, "I want someone 6'2". She was like, "What? How dare you be taken?" Hey, I'm sorry, but my husband is 6'2". Okay, I had
How
to pull
dare you?
one from. I'm not giving him back. No, no, but okay, let me ask Morgan, seriously. What if you said 5'4"? So 5'4", you're 5'7". That means you put on heels, you're like 5'9", 5'10".
5'10", 5'11". I usually wear about 3-4 inch heels. So
Okay.
yeah.
But Morgan, now, if it was an amazing man, what Morgan, hold on, Morgan, hold on. You cannot, no, we're not even doing that yet. We just Morgan,
Go ahead.
if he's an amazing man, right? He's 5'9", 5'9", but he has everything else you want. Like, what are we saying? Everything else. Well, first of all, what else do you want? What else do you want?
If God sent me this amazing man and he happens to be 5'9",
5'9". Yeah.
fine, yeah, I'll do it.
But you can't do it like that, Morgan.
Oh, what, you want to be happy about it? Listen, the thing
Oh,
about it is when you're tall, it's not that I want a 6'2" man by choice. And
yes,
when Andre went home, a lot of people had something to say. Oh, y'all sent the little guy home. Y'all shouldn't
they
have did him
did.
like that.
Yes,
Andre's a great guy. And
yeah.
my debate when I'm talking to men that say this, all
What?
right, you 6 feet. Do you want a 6'7", 350-pound woman laying in the bed with you?
They
You
do.
want to feel masculine.
They do.
You want to feel bigger than your woman. That's just human nature. And I feel the same way. It just so happens that my dating pool is just a little bit smaller
Yeah,
because I am 5'7".
yeah.
But to answer your question, fine, I would do it.
Oh, no, no, I don't want you to do it because you can't do it like that because it's not going to work. No, and I think to your point, I do think that men do not make acceptances when it comes to women's looks. Like men want somebody that they think is beautiful. If the woman is not absolutely beautiful, they never say, "Oh, well, she's a good person." They never do that. So I'm not necessarily saying that we have to do that, but I do think that I mean, 6'2" is rough. God bless me with it, but I ain't know if it was coming or not. I mean, it ain't that many of them. They got 6'2" and
Hmm.
everything else. So but I also believe that you can have what you want as long as you're putting out, what that to receive. Now, someone said in the comments that Tony wasn't that tall.
And
So
he light skinned.
so you gave him a pass?
I said this on another interview. Based off of my pool,
Yeah.
right? The men that were presented to me, Tony was the most, dare I say, compatible, as much as we don't, we're toxic or whatever. I can't see me walking away from that process with anybody else, whether they were tall, dark, whatever. Like it was something about him that attracted me to
Okay.
him. And
Okay.
Tony's like 5'10. He said like 5'10 and a half.
Okay.
And I do feel bigger than him when I'm, wearing heels.
I like it.
But, you know, um, I wouldn't block my blessing if he happened to be 5'9", but he'd have to have a hell of a personality.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you asked me, what am I looking for? It's funny you
Yes.
asked. Um, in my 20s, I had this ridiculously long, superficial list,
Yeah.
which was stupid. I think I had nice teeth on there twice. That's how
That's
stupid
how
it
serious
was.
the teeth were. Okay.
Right. So, as you get older, you get wiser and things start to, make more sense. So now I've narrowed those things down to just 5 things.
Okay.
And you're the first person that I'm going to share this with.
I'm getting
Um,
exclusive. We getting exclusive, guys.
so the 5 things that I need in a man, I need him to have a personality. I have a huge personality. I
Okay.
need somebody that's going to be able to match that. I need somebody to play jokes on, to laugh with, to sit and do nothing with. So personality is key. I need him to be well groomed.
Okay.
He doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's enough for me to clean up. I have to find him attractive.
Yes.
Somebody else might not, but I have to find him
Mm-hmm.
attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he has to be a man of God.
Okay.
Now, I want to say first and foremost, but honestly, first and foremost is I have to find him attractive. It has to be something about that man that attracts me to him,
Okay.
or I just don't see me getting to be the whole Morgan. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think we're on number 4 or 5. The last one is just financially stable and ready for a relationship and all that comes with it. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. And because I always tell women, like, no more than five. Over
Yeah,
five is too much.
you're
So
doing too much.
great person. It's okay. Man of God, that's important. Personality, well groomed, financially stable. Like that's not unreasonable. I think it's how you define these things. So how do you define financially stable, Morgan?
So this is a really sensitive subject these
Mhm.
days.
It is.
Um, for me, financially stable means can I send my kids to private school?
Okay. Let's put a
Yeah,
number on it. Let's find a number.
I don't have a number.
You don't have a
I
number?
can't do that. I mean, I don't have a number. Again, like I care more about personality, our chemistry, our
Mhm.
vibe. If you're able to treat me and date me, um, and we can take yearly trips abroad, or I'm not unreasonable.
Mhm.
Do I think I could manage with a man that made average salary?
Mhm.
He had to be one heck of a man.
What does
But
that mean?
ultimately, he just have to like swoop me off my feet. Like his personality's on point. We're having a great time, great conversation. He's answering the phone. He's attentive to me. He's thoughtful of me. He's mindful of me. Baby, are
Okay.
you okay? Do you need anything? And that man is rare.
It
So if he
is.
doesn't happen to be attached to a six-figure income,
Mhm.
I wouldn't care.
Okay, Morgan, you're coming off as very sensible. I like that, and you're right. Everything you're saying is right. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting someone that's successful, um,
Hmm.
but also being like personality and our chemistry is more important than that. I don't think we should settle, but I wonder. People have accused you all season of liking of being attracted to like that bad boy energy, right? Now, people are accusing you of it, but a lot of people also are attracted to that energy. And I don't think men always ask that. Well, you guys are always attracted to the bad boy energy. For me, and you can tell me if you disagree, I don't think it's the bad boy energy. I think I'm attracted to men that are confident. And so when you're a very confident, woman who's comfortable in her skin, finding a man who's very confident and can come to you as a man and not kind of be not intimidated, because I know that that's a buzzword, but a man who's really comfortable in his skin is attractive. And I think it's, for me, it's the confidence, not the bad boy. I don't like the bad boy, but I do like a very, very confident man. What was it about Tony? Because I'm hoping it wasn't the bad boy energy, but it was the fact that he seemed to be very confident with you, with all the other men being attracted to you. Like, this is mine, I'm not going anywhere. That was a little bit out of place for Ready to Love, but I'm feeling like it was the confidence that kind of seduced you or pulled you in.
And his personality, yes, his confidence. I don't want to be with a bad boy. Nobody's like, yeah, let me find somebody to hurt me. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Right.
Um,
Right.
um, but like, I honestly feel like when I try to get rid of my list, right? I'm talking
Yes.
about before the show and even after the show, like I'm trying to date that,
Mhm.
kind, gentle,
Mhm.
humble. He's so boring. God, God, he's so boring. Like I can't do it. Like I need an ounce of wit, an ounce of
Yeah.
humor, personality. That's why I'm huge on, excuse me, huge on personality. And
Yeah.
for me, Tony just did it. Out of
Yeah.
that whole cast, like it was me and him. The chemistry was there. The conversation flowed. I wasn't struggling to find anything. As far as the best personalities there, believe it or not, I would say Little Andre
Mhm.
and Tony, and they're both comedians.
Andre, we liked his personality. I don't feel like
Yeah.
his personality fit Ready to Love, though.
No,
I
he's
feel
so
like he
cool.
should have been like on an MTV. So he's very artistic and that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I liked him
Yeah.
a lot. But you know what? The ladies love Lyndon. Like when he came on the
Hmm.
show, you know what? And I think there was something about that island. There's something about men from the Caribbean. They're very laid back. And it almost makes women feel like, wait a minute, I'm used to being chased. What is this? They're very confident in a laid back way. And he was very confident. What was the connection between the two of you? Because we didn't get a chance to see a lot of what happened one on one. So what was it about Lyndon that made you actually like really consider him all the way up until the very end?
Lyndon's such a smooth dude, like he's so smooth, he's so classy. And he was vastly looked over
Yeah.
until I started looking at him. But yeah, Lyndon just had this super cool, smooth, laid back persona. He's funny.
Yeah.
We got along very well. At the mixer, he was the first person I saw. I walked in last and I felt like a fish out of water because
Mhm.
I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, everybody's already talking to each other. Um, who should I talk to? Should I go interrupt this conversation? Then I turn right here and here's Lyndon, that big old smile. Well, hello, with his little drink in his hand. And so from that moment on, we just was kind of like, hand in hand.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I enjoyed Lyndon's conversation and I enjoyed his communication skills. He
Mhm.
was like a breath of fresh air because on one end I was talking to Tony who don't got no sense, can't get a word through, and then on the other end I have this amazing man that can communicate with me even when I'm telling him about what's going on with me and Tony. So
Yeah.
he earned his title in my life, which was
Yeah.
Lyndon was that man.
But let me ask you this, and we went this way. I want to go back, but we're going to go back. But it's something about a man that you can talk to and enjoy, but then there's not that physical pull. There's
Hmm.
not that attraction, that physical attraction. And for you and Lyndon not to kiss until the very end, I'm wondering, did you really have a strong physical attraction to him? Because there's something about being around a man that you're into, you guys are having good conversation, that is gonna make you want to kiss him, right?
Right. And so that's what my problem with Lyndon was towards the end. It's like all these emotions and all this, you know, past the friend zone energy. I didn't get it until the mansion. And
Yeah.
by that time, it was kind of too late. I was already like, consumed with whatever me and Tony had going on. And so we said that on our departure date. I said, do you think if you would have came with this energy a little bit sooner,
Mm,
it'd have been things would have been different for us. And he said, yeah, he actually apologized that he didn't, let me know how he felt about him.
Yeah.
early enough on rather. I'm attracted to Linda. I think he's a handsome guy. Obviously, the kinetic pull wasn't the same as it
Yeah.
was with Tony and I.
I feel like you just gave him a kiss kind of out of the sympathy before he left. I don't feel like that was even really like drawn. I
Yo,
feel like it was just like, okay, you're a sweetheart.
you want to know the truth? It's production being messy. Y'all want to give each other a goodbye kiss.
Oh
I
wow.
said, y'all want to give each other? I said, well, what the heck? I might as well,
Yeah.
make my grand exit and piss off Tony. So,
And you did both. And you did both. But I'm glad I was like, that wasn't really. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning because we've heard so many of the guys have told us that they were cast for Ready to Love. I guess at this point, most people are cast to a certain degree. What was it about the show that made you decide to do it? Because it is a lot putting your business out there. I mean, it's obviously a great opportunity, but like I said, I'm sure you didn't have any issues finding guys to date. So, what was it about this opportunity that made you say, "I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance"?
um, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Who wouldn't take it? I think I got thick enough skin for it. I think I have the personality for it. I
Mhm,
think I have the looks for it. I just feel like why not? Now first and foremost, I was definitely open to, meeting a person and building something with. But I also was aware that, there would be amazing opportunities that would come from this.
mhm.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay. Dove, Revlon, Lancome,
all those brands.
Givenchy, y'all need an ambassador, spokesperson, then I'm your girl.
Have you done that? Have what do you do? What is your career? What do you do before the show?
I'm an interior designer and I'm also military.
Oh, wow, really? I would never have thought military.
Hmm.
Wow. So she's tough also. All that beautiful
Yep.
military stuff.
I was active duty Air Force for about 8 or 9 years. I come from a military family. My best friend's military, my brother's military. We're both getting ready to retire. And I'm now in the reserves. So I did Navy Reserves, debating. But yeah, Navy girl. Navy girl, but my blood runs blue for all my Air Force people. I miss y'all. Right.
That's what's up. Okay, so this was an
Hmm.
opportunity. So you got on the cast, and you said you were nervous when you got there. Did you know what to expect? Had you watched previous episodes and said, this is kind of how I'm going to present myself, or I have an idea of how I want to be seen on the show?
Nope, just as blind as can be. I never heard of the show. Don't watch reality TV.
Hmm.
So I just only had opportunity quickly to kind of look back on, excuse me, past episodes just to get a little idea. And I checked it out and I felt like it was worth my while.
Okay, so you get there
Hmm.
at the mixer, and it's all these people. I'm not going to say
Hmm.
attractive people because that's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but there's all these men. You mentioned that three people you said that stood out to you, I guess, overall.
Hmm.
Anthony, who you had gone on a date before with, and then Lyndon and Tony. So before we get to back to Lyndon and Tony, what happened with you and Anthony? Why didn't you guys go out? What happened with that date?
So I need aggression. I need to know that I'm going to try to
Like
stop
that.
using that word aggression. I'm going to start using that word aggression. I guess I need for him to be more assertive.
Okay.
Um, so Anthony and I would have these amazing conversations over
Hmm.
the phone,
Hmm.
hours on the phone. And then when he saw me in person, it was almost like he retreated.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that because, as you all know now, I was most interested in Anthony. But
Yeah.
you got Tony over here grabbing me, you got Lyndon over here, and I'm like, I'm working the room, but I'm trying to get to Anthony.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't like the bad boy, but
Yeah.
I need him to be assertive.
You want to
Um,
turn the good guy into the bad guy. You want to.
no, 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 no. If I could find a good guy that came with the energy, that came with the personality, Lord, please, that's all I want.
Yeah.
But no, I had been around him a couple times, and I tried to let it be known that he was my interest, and he just never made the effort to come approach me.
Yeah.
And that had happened 3 times, and I was like, okay, either he's not interested or it's just not for me. And yeah, I left it alone.
Do you think? Do you think that? Because I think sometimes some men don't move fast if they're actually the guys that move really fast usually are on the BS, right? Because
Hmm.
a smart man who really wants a wife is gonna watch before he just, and I know as women we like feeling like oh my God, he just finds me so beautiful, he can't resist. But sometimes a smart guy kind of wants to watch and get to know you, and then maybe, he'll step up into that role. Do you think that you guys had enough time before to see if that side was in him, or do you think how much time did you guys go out, I guess I'm wondering.
We had a date. Y'all didn't see it. We had a
Okay.
date. It was a nice date. It was pretty short, but it was a nice date. And again, I'm excited because it's Anthony. I'm trying
Yeah.
to get on my date with Anthony. Um, Again, the conversation over the phone was amazing, and I remember like specifically the brunch. Is
Hmm.
when again I'm working the room, but I'm trying to get to Anthony, and I was like, and I'm not used to you know being forthcoming. I want to be pursued, so I stepped outside of my comfort zone. Like, why you come say nothing to me all day? And he's like, well, I already know, that I like you. I want to, introduce myself to other women. Okay, I understood that. Then it happened again off camera where he just ignored me. And I thought it was the weirdest thing.
Oh wow.
I thought it was the weirdest thing. We were in makeup and I walked in and he was sitting to the side. He had his head back and I didn't ask him anything because he seemed to be very like offstandish. I'm
Hmm.
like, I just sat on the phone with this man for 2 hours last night. Is he gonna say hi? Like,
Oh wow.
hi, hey. He didn't, and then it happened again. Come to find out, he was really in a bad mood because he was there for like a few hours. But I felt like that's still kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, that's
That
kind of
is weird.
weird. And I sat there and got my makeup done, and you know how long it take.
Yeah.
Makeup. I'm like, and I'm peeking over. He's right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he gonna say something? All right. Well, I guess he just, I'm not the person for him. And then again at the boat. So again, I just wasn't getting the and it
Reciprocal.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be extreme like Tony was. I'm reasonable, but I just wasn't getting it at all.
Yeah.
And I guess I was so interested in him and I didn't feel the same energy that I was just like, okay, well, here come this one.
Yeah.
So
Well, everything is not for everybody, is not for everybody. So that wasn't the fit. So there was nobody else there that you were attracted to. I know you were attracted to Mark Anthony, but
mhm.
you felt like he was a little just younger,
Just
or
a young, just
yeah,
young, just
yeah,
young. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah. Nobody else you were attracted to?
No,
No. Okay. Okay.
no.
Okay. Let's talk about Blake, because that scene with you guys was like, as a viewer, we were just like, where did that come from? Right?
Hmm.
It was so intense. I think Blake is a good looking guy. Obviously, the Blake that we saw um, was pitted one way. When we talked to him, I talked to him. He didn't seem that way, but of course, we don't know what you guys went through on set. But for you, the energy that you had in that scene with him, where you called him a cancer, I was like, that has to come from somewhere. Like something must have happened that we don't know. And so Marcia came on. No, Jonique came on and was kind of like explaining her side of it. And kind of was like, this is why this happened. Because we didn't, as a viewer, we're just like, whoa, they didn't seem to have a connection. Is she taking up for a friend? What's happening? So, and then you guys seem to work it out, because by the end, there wasn't like, you guys didn't seem standoffish or uncomfortable in each other's presence. So, did something trigger you to feel that way about him, or was that just you watching how he interacted with the other ladies?
Personally, well, let's just nobody wanted Blake there. Like it was to the point where after eliminations, we were angry. Like, why is he
And
still
why? Why
here?
was there so much passion against Blake?
Because during the process, we just didn't like some of the things that he had going on. He told multiple women the same thing, which all came to light in the ladies' lounge, which was, I found my person. Basically, let's play the game and leave here together. So he had told Jeffrey that. He told Cynthia that. Now he's told Sue Ann that. Might have been another one, I don't remember. But for me, and then he also body shamed one of our ladies, which is so distasteful. Um, um, for me, it was when he began this narrative that I didn't want a man and I just wanted kids. So at the mixer, um, Blake and I had an altercation at the mixer. That's how confrontational he was about me. I think maybe he realized that a large majority of us didn't have children yet.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he probably felt that he was already at a
Was defensive
disadvantage.
about that. Yeah.
Right. So when we met, he told me he was Army. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm military, you know. Again, not my typical man I'm attracted to, but I was open to having that conversation with him. It lasted about all of a good 5 minutes.
Okay.
Um, so he told me that he had 3 children and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
want any more.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, you know, and I politely dismissed myself. It's the mixer. I want to mix and I want to mingle.
Right.
And I don't see that conversation being fruitful. You
Right.
know, we are on polar opposites of what we want. And he took offense to that. And
Mm.
so he attacked me at the mixer, and we were in a group setting, and he just was basically, you know, spewing all these things about how I'm going to be 50 and alone. So basically, if I don't find this man, or if I don't find a man, then I'm okay with having kids. And he started telling these men this, that Morgan doesn't want a man; she just only wants a
He
kid.
said that he said those words to you, like if you're not you're going to be 50 and not. He said those directly to you. Okay. Wow.
Yes. So I don't say verbatim, you know, but he
Mm-hmm.
said something, I don't know what age he said, but basically saying that I won't be happy until I have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, oh, that's what he said. He was like, 80% of the life, maybe 75 or 80% of the things that you want to do, you won't be able to do once you become a parent. And I'm like, who hurt you? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I don't expect to be able to do everything, but like, why do you have such a negative outlook on parenthood?
Mm-hmm.
No, things aren't going to be all easy, but yeah, he just kept trying to make me feel like I shouldn't have kids,
Yeah.
or I was wrong for wanting a man that wanted to have children with me. To the
Mm-hmm.
point that even day one, Jeffrey had to step in. She was like, "Okay, well, just calm down. You know, I think this is what she's trying to say." So
Mm-hmm.
he just took that one thing and just kind of ran with it. Maybe because I wasn't interested in him, and he tried to put a bad taste in people's mouths. I don't know, but as far as that date with Blake and I didn't want to be there. I was bamboozled
Okay.
um, by production because I was very adamant about not going on a date with him and one other person, not doing it.
Okay.
To the point I had to wait in the car for a couple hours because I said, if it's Blake or such and such, I'm not going. Don't make me waste my outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up sitting in the car for 2 hours one day because I assumed it was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll just go ahead and spill tea. It was Blake and Blue. I couldn't stand Blue from day one either. He said I couldn't
Yeah.
stand Blue. He wanted to talk about grasshoppers. And I said, I'm not talking to you about no damn grasshoppers. Literally. I'm not, now that you can quote verbatim.
Wow. Well, I mean, Blue was very. It's funny because he had a good interview, but his behavior after at that reunion was just really weird to me. With the
Yeah, I didn't
women
know where that
trying
came
to,
from.
we don't know where it came from, but even with him with Z, and I believe Z that he did
I
try to.
believe Z.
I definitely believe her that because and that
Hmm.
was super lame. Like you, I just thought that was real lame for him to do. But yeah,
You know, and then I even question his recent motives with Jeffrey, obviously before the whole thing.
yeah,
Now that I'm looking back, you know, they were getting to know each other a little bit, and she seemed to be interested in him. And I'm like, was this all for the, you know, the cameras? And now I'm kind of, was it for clout? Like you just want to be seen holding on to one of the cast members? So
yeah,
I kind of started looking at him a little sideways though. But overall, I kicked it with Blue,
yeah.
which was funny because in the beginning I was so
Adam,
anti-Blue, anti-Blake. And then by the time we were all together, you know, we were just family.
yeah.
So I came around, he came around, we all came around.
So you and Blake are cool now.
Blake, oh yeah,
Okay,
me and
okay,
Blake are cool. I mean, I don't think I have his phone number or
right,
anything. I
right, right.
haven't.
But you know, do you feel like he might have been understood because he does have a very direct different type of vibe than he's not his personality is not made for reality TV. I think yours is. You're very you're with the shits, right? But
With the
he's
shits.
he's not. And he's very direct. And I think because I know how it feels when you are dating and you have children already. So I went through that phase of like dating men that wanted to have kids and I was like, my kids are past the point I don't want to do that anymore. But I didn't it's not about me not liking them. I was just past that point. So I could, and then I've also been the woman that had children and a man would be like, well, I don't want to date a woman with kids. So it's kind of like, it's a difficult thing, whether you're, what side of the
Totem
spectrum
pole.
on.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people can be misinterpreted. He seemed to be misinterpreted because he was kind of the villain. But if everybody wanted him gone,
Oh
it's,
my God. We had a group chat.
oh, to get rid of Blake?
not to get rid of him, but like every time someone went home, we were livid. I can't express to you how mad, and I cannot express to you how mad we all were.
Oh wow.
Like at the okay, so at the all cast dinner, I don't know if you could remember my face, but I'm just like, yo, I know y'all not about to tell me this dude's still here. Like to the point we're trying to calculate now. Most of us had really, all of us I think had good intentions, but now we calculate like how can we send Blake home?
Oh,
And he's still with it. No, you pick him.
who did you want?
You
Okay. So you backed up Jeffrey's story because we didn't know who's telling the truth or not. Jeffrey said that Blake said he was that she was the one that he wanted. He said he didn't know what she was talking about. We were like, somebody is lying. We don't know who's lying. Someone is lying. But we never heard that he told multiple people that. So you're saying that he told Jeffrey was not the only one that had that story of him saying that he
hmm
found his person and he wants to not doesn't necessarily want to date anyone else, but he's going to go along with the process. That you're corroborating her story.
yes.
Okay.
That's my friend and I'm sticking beside her.
I'm not mad at it. That's I mean, but we didn't know if we had heard that he also told Cynthia that. I think that would have colored the viewer's response, right?
But
Because
I'll let Cynthia tell you guys that. This is where I was. That's my point of view of where I was coming from, why I was fed up with Blake. But that's her story to tell,
right,
you know.
right,
Um, but yeah, I wasn't there physically when that conversation was had between Jeffrey and Blake, but I was on the phone with her. Her and I had got real close real soon. So I highly doubt that she would call me right away, like, Sissy, guess what he just said? You know, that would be really weird
yeah,
and random. And
yeah,
she did provide me receipts for them text messages. Like, why are they saying all these things, you know? So
yeah,
I'll just leave it at that. I mean, we all a little crazy. I love me some Jeffrey. She's a little cuckoo. That's why we love each other because I'm a little cuckoo too. But I don't see her just, pulling that out of her, you
yeah.
know,
Just out of the
ass
blue. Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
no good reason. She literally called me and said, "This guy's crazy." This is what he's saying. So,
yeah,
I wasn't there, but I did. She called me and I saw enough text messages that I believe her.
yeah. Well, I think she has a lot of receipts, at least from what I think she has a lot of receipts on all the guys. It seems.
Jeffrey got the receipts and I saw it. I wouldn't have just blindly stood up for her the way that I did,
Gotcha.
um, just for no good reason.
Okay.
So
So let's talk about this because I talked about this channel is positive, which is why it's not as popular as some. I appreciate you coming on, even though it may not be as big as some of the other channels that are a little bit messier because I'm just not into that. But
which is why I'm not there.
huh? Oh,
Which is why I'm not there.
but and I appreciate it. But
hmm
I'm wondering, like, what with the other women, because this is our own network, and we're always like, okay, we need women to stick together and be cool with each other, but somehow we aren't able to always do that. Sometimes it gets to the point where our energies collide. What was the issues on the show with the other women? Let's talk about you and Marcia first,
hmm
because it didn't seem like from what we saw, it did. I just didn't understand why there would be any energy, any friction, even at the reunion. Like, where is that coming from? Because obviously, Tony is the problem, right? Because Tony is obviously the problem when it comes to the two of you guys. So where did that energy come from between the two of you guys? Do you feel like it was on purpose for her? Do you feel like Tony was, because I feel like just like Tony and Lyndon both were liking you, and that probably feels good to have two people like you. But in the same token, Tony was talking to both of you guys, and I think he kind of enjoyed having both of you, two beautiful women, that he
For
could go back
sure.
and forth between. He told us the same thing that he told you, that he sent Marcia home because he didn't want her to be a part. He didn't want to hurt her feelings, seeing her having to watch the two of you guys together. So we're just kind of wondering, like, where did that energy come from at the reunion with the two of you guys? With you saying that you wish she was there to be a distraction. She obviously didn't like that. And it went
Um,
back and forth.
you know, the whole time we were filming,
Hmm.
literally the whole time we were filming, Marcy and I were cool.
Okay.
She was the one of the ones that I was most close to. We'd call. We were pretty mature and headed about liking the same guy.
Yeah.
Um, Overall, I don't think that during filming we clashed at all whatsoever. But then the camera stopped rolling, and Tony and I, you know, we ended horribly after we were done filming.
Mhm.
And obviously they began to, develop a relationship and grow close.
Mhm.
So when we got to the reunion, I hadn't spoken to Marcy, again. It was really, at this point, it's just weird. Like,
Yeah.
me and Tony are, dating, so it's just weird. But we
Yeah.
cool. I don't have no, I have no problem with her. But at the reunion, see, this is the thing I don't like about production. I am, and I don't, I'm a realist, so I'm not going to sit up here and just blame production.
Right.
But if I'm lying, I'm fine, Crystal. They only showed you guys my reaction.
Mm. Okay.
I promise you. I promise you. They never showed y'all where this is coming from. It
Mhm.
was just a,
Yeah.
So everyone's so quick to say that I'm so quick to snap. No, I'm actually pretty level headed, believe it or not. I know you guys won't believe me, and that's fine. I don't care. I'm
Mhm.
actually pretty reasonable when it comes to how I respond to people. So at the reunion, Mercy was just jugging at me. She just kept jugging at me, just kept jugging at me. Every time I said something, it was a little ad lib. Then she was over there, massaging Tony. He's over there with his arm around her, trying to make me jealous. And I just thought it was a shit show. I
Yeah.
just felt like the both of y'all was doing too much.
Mhm.
It's not that serious, but fine. You guys are over there kikiing and googly eyed. That's fine. I see it, but um, so yeah, I pulled her to the side and
Mhm.
said, "Let's talk," because her and I had no problems. I said, "Marcy, girl, what's up? Like, we good? Like, what's the problem?"
Yeah.
And then I'm so crazy. I'm so unhinged, and I almost put out some receipts because I have so many pictures and selfies of me and Marcy being so cool. And that's why I said what I said. When I told her I knew the pill was fake, but I still ate it. Let me go ahead and break that down for y'all because a lot
Yeah.
of people didn't know what I meant.
What
It's
happened?
it is a song by Kodak Black. It's
Okay.
called Super Gremlin, and he's basically telling a story about his homeboy
Mhm.
who he knew meant him no good, gave him some fake drugs, and he took it anyway. And he knew what time it was
Uh-huh.
because I'm ruthless, I'm reckless, I'm indestructible. You can't hurt me, you can't harm me. Okay. So when I told her I knew what it was, I knew the pill was fake, and I still ate it because I'm a gremlin, and I'm gonna stand by that because I ate it on up. It was just unfortunate that I'm from Florida, and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know what the hell I was talking
Yeah,
about.
I didn't know. I was like, why is she calling herself a gremlin? What's happening? I don't really listen to Kodak Black, but okay. All right. Now I understand because I was like,
No, I had plenty sense. I knew exactly, and she knew, and everybody else there knew because we all from Miami. They knew
gotcha.
exactly what I was talking about. I knew it was fake,
Yeah.
but
Wow.
I still
Okay.
ate it.
All right. Was that the only all right, let's talk about Natasha.
Okay.
I had Natasha on the show. And I
Hmm.
told I feel like Tony, I feel like Tony was bragging, right, about what he had done. I feel like the energy, he didn't have to tell you and Marcia he slept with Natasha. That was unnecessary to the process because everybody on this show sleeps with people. Like, I've been interviewing people from season one.
Hmm.
Adults do what adults do, right?
Hmm.
And putting that out on camera is really putting somebody's business out. And I don't think anybody would like that. So I don't he said that he didn't mean for it to come out, but I just feel like he had a conversation about it in the men's lounge. You guys had a conversation about it on camera. She wasn't on the show. Why have that conversation? Because on camera there's the possibility of that being aired. I'm sure, I don't know about what you did during your time, but I'm certain that there are probably every season there are people that have done things that don't, because they told me that don't want it shared, you know what I mean, like publicly. But she was kind of humiliated, and she's a good sport. She was like, it's okay, but I just feel like that was unfair to her. And then again, putting the two of you guys against each other was kind of like, I thought that was lame of him for a grown ass man to kind of bring that up. And of course, if you tell another woman you slept with another woman, you know that she's going to feel some kind of way about it. What was that about? And did you feel like he was being extra, or did you really feel like he was telling you to the betterment of you guys' relationship?
Um, well, I didn't know that he had also told Marcia
Okay.
until she said that he told her too. But I don't know what he told her, but for me, I felt like he saw us growing into something,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have been important for me to hear it from him first. And I agree with that. The last thing I would have wanted to do is, think he and I are going somewhere, and
Yeah.
then find this out on the back end. which was, birds were tweeting that this was going to come out at the
Mhm.
reunion. I didn't hear it from Natasha's mouth, but it was more than just Tony saying it.
Gotcha.
So,
That's what I was like, why would you talk about it on camera? But if she was already talking about it,
and
that's not what she said. But
that's not fair for me to say. I don't know. I don't see why a woman would want to go and tell production that, hey, this happened, but
yeah,
it got out. It
gotcha.
got out, and I heard it from the horse's mouth, which was Tony.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was very hurt at that dinner, at that brunch with Tony. I
Mhm.
was very hurt. I was very, very hurt. How could you say that about me? How could you do that to me? How could you embarrass me like that on
Mhm.
TV, knowing um the chemistry that you and I have, the things that we're talking about, the things that we're planning for. Like,
Yeah.
how could you do that to me? Um, and in the heat of the moment, when they tell you that things change once you're behind the camera, it's not an excuse, but it's true. I would have never thought that. I would have never saw myself do that, but I just went spewing off at the mouth like a mad woman, and
Mhm.
I shouldn't have done it. But again, I wanted to hurt him because hurt people,
Yeah.
and I forgot about her. So
Okay. Um,
yeah.
what was it? Because you you called Tony a monster at the reunion,
Hmm.
and that's a very strong word. I know you like the dramatics a little bit. You know, you're a little bit dramatic. What is your sign, Morgan?
I'm a Taurus. My
Your
birthday's in
has it?
May 15th. May
Yes.
15th.
So
Does that
it's
make sense now?
yes, it's coming up, and
Okay.
yes, it does. Um, so, but I also think that you're like somebody that is it will say it in a moment, but there's a softness there because obviously you really cared about Tony. You don't respond like that to someone unless you really cared about him.
Hmm.
What do you feel like? What hurt you the most? Because he seems like he was kind of like consistently messing up the entire time, at least from what we see, right?
Hmm.
We don't see him. The most of you guys' relationship, it was you being very disappointed in Tony.
Hmm.
So what was it? What do you think that what did he do that really hurt you? Because when a woman is hurt, it's like I didn't expect you to do that. So we didn't see you guys planning for the future. We just saw you constantly saying the communication is messed up. This ain't gonna work. Obviously, there's a strong physical connection, right? You guys were attracted to each other. But what was it that made you so hurt from him to where you would respond that way? And even like you said, it triggered you to kind of go off. And even at the reunion, you were going off. What did he do prior to the reunion and then after you guys leaving supposedly together that hurt you so bad?
He said some things. He said some things that were really below the belt, and
About
I
you?
don't. To me, yeah, not about me, but to me, just
Okay.
again, communication. Just some stuff you just can't say.
Yeah.
Some stuff you just can't do. Um, but I was just going through a really tough time.
Mhm.
I was dealing with a lot with my job, a lot with my family, somebody that was very close to me. I was dealing with loss after loss. And when it came time for me to meet him, he wasn't there for me.
Okay.
He just completely disappeared. So when Natasha said that he ghosted her, that's very true. To the point I saw her, she would call him and I was there a
Mm.
couple times.
Oh
And I'd
wow.
be like, just tell her, answer the phone. Like, you're that shit man that just won't keep it real with somebody. I
Yeah.
checked him about it. I think I saw her calling him twice. And I was like, that's what we don't need. Like, you're that guy that would do that to somebody. Just
Mhm.
tell her what it is.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't tell her. And that also just kind of, taking notes, like, why would you do that to somebody? So,
What did he say? What
um,
was the reason for not?
man, I ain't got nothing to say to her. Just ignorant.
Mhm.
Just not what you do when you're dealing with a woman.
Yeah.
Um, and I knew what I knew, I'm just like, why would you do that? So,
Yeah.
ironically, it was for different reasons, but I just came a time where I really needed him, and he wasn't there for me,
Yeah.
and I felt like that was just awful of him. And again, I hadn't talked to him in 6 weeks because I had blocked him because he told Tommy. I hadn't spoken to Morgan in 6 weeks. So again, you guys don't see that. It just looks like I just ran off on a tangent. Like, I needed to talk to you 6 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
No, we were calm. And he told Tommy that we hadn't spoken in 6 weeks. And I said, yeah, because I blocked him. But it wasn't anything attached to, that I basically was responding to what he said. So
Mhm.
yeah, but I'm at an amicable place with Tony. Um, I guess time heals all wounds, and
Yeah.
then with time, you get to know a person a little bit better. And yeah,
Do you still think? Do you, so when you call him a monster? Do you? Because you obviously don't think he's a monster. You just think he has bad communication. Do you think he was playing games? Because I like the fact that Tommy actually, made that statement. Like, we don't need to do this as black men. Like, from the outside looking in, I'm gonna keep it 100. I really feel like Tony was playing games. You know what I mean? Because the
hmm
conversation that he had with Lyndon, and even saying, "Well, this is what happens when men are amongst men," that was not necessarily. And I told both of them this when Lyndon came first. That whole situation that happened at the getaway, where he was like, "There, well, how does it feel when you see me kissing her?" That they were basically using you as the beautiful woman to get back to show who was the more of the man, right? And I was like, that was not fair to her. Like, that's got to be hurtful because you guys are trying to prove who's the bigger one and she's the collateral damage. Like, that was hurtful to watch, even your reaction to that scene. But in all that, I'm wondering, do you feel like Tony was really authentic or genuine in his, because it seems like he came to kind of play games and to prove he was the man. Like, I'm gonna get her, I'm gonna get the baddest chick there, I'm gonna smash he was just doing a lot that doesn't come across as authentic. What do you think his intentions were?
I think Tony definitely came with the shits, and he ended up falling for me and didn't know what to do with it. I don't care how bad it looked on camera. We cut up. It was a fool, but he genuinely had feelings for me. Um, and that doesn't go away overnight, no matter how much whatever.
Mhm.
I'm not making excuses for his behavior. Yes, he was fully on some BS. I don't think I don't know what to say about that man, because on one hand he said he came there to find his person, but the next thing you over here trying to be in everybody's face. So I don't know, but I do know without a shadow of a doubt that something happened between me and him, and he did have genuine feelings for me. No
Okay.
one will ever take that away from me. Just how he went about it was real effed up.
Hmm. What do you think was why do you think it wouldn't? I guess what was the change? Because if he has feelings, you think he just wasn't ready, or do you think why do you think it didn't work out, or he wasn't able to push through?
That's a Tony question. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a Tony question. He's going to have to correct those things and explain himself if
Mm,
he wants me, you, or anybody else to understand where his head was. And I even talked to him about it when he told the me the story about him and Natasha. I'm like, well, let me ask you, did you think that you'd end up marrying her? He said no. I said, well, why the hell would you do it? If
mhm.
you knew you came on here to quote unquote find your wife, why would you do that? You're jeopardizing, you're sabotaging yourself before you even give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know, Crystal. You have to ask him.
Okay. Would you consider if because he told us he's in therapy, which I
hmm
applaud. I think that's a good.
Because of me. Because of me.
Okay. Well, he did tell us it was not because of Marcia. He was like, I'm not.
No, it was because of me. We had a long conversation about it. I know y'all gonna say I need therapy too. I do. Um, I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tony been through a lot. That man has been through a lot. His childhood was, oh my goodness, the things that he told me one day, I just started crying. Like, how are you here? Like, how did you persevere through all this? And maybe that's where my compassion came from
Mhm,
him, is because I kind of knew his backstory. I don't
mhm,
know if he shared it with anybody else, but I know he shared it with me. And like, he's a success story. I told him they need to, you know, name a school after him or something from where he's from, because I think the school he went to, like, it's like a 19% graduation rate or
oh,
something
wow.
like that.
Well, that
Yes,
also
like,
is why he was like trying to prove himself, because
yes.
there was a lot of bravado happening there. But I love the fact that he took accountability for everything and, said that he wanted to be a better man, especially for his sons. Now, let me ask you a few questions about you because there was some more things about Miss Morgan that came out. You talked about your ex, and I think the Nair conversation was a big one that people responded to on social media. You said
Mhm.
that you're more level-headed, but hearing the conversation about you putting Nair on a guy's hair, it scared a lot of guys. It scared.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. I wouldn't do it again.
What did he do, Morgan? that
I,
results in him getting there? Because I mean, there's really one thing that usually it has to do with another woman, but is that what happened?
no, multiple. So, Crystal, I just want to say that my store closes at 9, so I probably got about like 10 more minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
you're fine. Yep.
Okay. Um, oh, Junior just was all over the place. Let me see him. That's why he just had a lot of options, and um, yeah, he Junior had too many women calling my phone. He had uh a woman calling. I kid you not, a woman calling my phone asking for another woman. And I said, okay, I got you. Now that was the most craziest thing I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
If that makes you guys feel any better. I don't have any domestic violence charges. I don't have any history of going to jail and being crazy in front of someone's house. I
Yeah.
don't, okay? You
Yeah.
can look and you can scrub all you want. I don't have any history of being crazy except that one time, okay?
Yeah.
Just that one time.
I can see that one though, because I mean, most women with that type of energy happening, you're going to respond in some kind of way. You know,
Yeah.
I'm.
So it's
Not,
good. He and I are super good. We're good.
we see you guys are still cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, what did you did? Okay, let me ask you this. As we get ready to wrap up, is there anything about your behavior that you saw watching yourself back that you did not like? Is there anything that you said I got to work on that, or I wish I made a different?
Oh, um, again, I know myself. I know myself. I know how much I can take, and I know when someone's triggering me.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I just really, really, really hate that y'all only got to see one side of me.
Yeah.
Like that really hurts my heart because I think I'm a super dope person. People that know me and love me would tell you the same. Even when I tell people the story about the narrative, it's different. Not saying it's okay. I don't think it's okay, but y'all only saw one side of me, and that really, really, really like bothers me to the point I haven't even watched the last episode. Seriously, I don't like to see the character that I was formed to be.
Okay.
And that's really what it comes down to.
Hmm.
Again, I have to take accountability for the things I said, but
Yeah.
I can't negate the things that were said to me that led up to a response. And to only put me out there as this reckless, unhinged, you know, psychopath. That's not fair. But that's what I guess that's what I signed up for.
Yeah.
The only thing that really left me disappointed in myself was the situation with Natasha.
Mhm.
Other than that, I don't care. I stand by everything else, wrong or right. I can say I was wrong or right. But as far as disappointed, oh man, whew, that was tough to watch.
Have you talked to Natasha?
No, I reached out to her, I DM'd her, and I called her, and then I didn't get an answer, and then I just openly apologized to her.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I will say we have a friend in common, and he's one of someone I hold in very high regard. Yeah,
French.
good.
Yeah.
Like, my girl is on the show. And he was like, you got to interview my girl. And then I was like, this is who you were talking about. He was like, yeah, no, he's a really good person. So, and he thinks a lot of you. So that's why I was like, maybe we're not seeing the full side of her. I think reality TV likes, I mean, a beautiful woman is easy to make into a villain because, it's who people love to hate. So,
I can't stress this enough to y'all. Like, I hate that they only like portrayed me like that. I really, really do. And
mhm,
that's just something I got to suck up and deal with. But as far as French, he was a factor in me agreeing to do the show because I know his industry. I'm like, French, you ever heard? He was like, yeah, you need to do it. I was
mhm,
like, oh no, man, but he knows how I am. He knows me, and he knows the side of me that
yeah,
unfortunately the viewers on
the
OWN
viewers don't know.
didn't get a chance to see.
But do you think you gave production too much of that other side?
Yeah, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Mm,
If I would have known how this works just a little bit more, I probably would have been a little bit more reserved
mhm.
in the things that I said and I did. But again, nobody really likes you to be reserved. So
Right.
which one is it?
Not deserved does reserved does not work well for
Right.
reality TV. Last question. People are asking about your business. Is there something that you can share with us so people can support you and look up and
Yep.
yep. Give
Well,
us
I'm an interior designer. You guys can DM me if you need to know where. I don't need crazy people popping up at my job. But I'm also opening a super dope swim line, Flex Swimwear, at Flex Swimwear with two X's.
Mhm.
It should be dropping any day now, guys. I'm just waiting on one more thing, and I can't wait to show you all what I've been working so hard on, which is probably why I've been a little low key because my mind is just building my brand right now. So I can't wait for you guys to see it at Flex Swimwear with two X's.
Okay.
And leave me some reviews. Let me know what you guys think. I'm open to constructive criticism as well. So let me hear it.
Well, when you get them ready, make sure that you send pictures and information so we can support it with Rolling Out. We love to support African American designers, especially women. So
Hey,
we would love to
it's
support.
female owned, black owned, and veteran owned. Pick one.
Oh,
That's
wait,
a triple threat.
my
That's a
husband's a
triple
veteran.
threat.
I gotta rock with you. He's a vet, so I've been learning all. He's an Army vet though, but whew, it's a lot
Tell him
going
I said sorry.
on. I will. Well, Morgan, I thank you so much. I do want to ask you one last question. What's going on with your dating life? Are you dating? What's happening?
I'm dating.
You're dating?
May the best man win.
May the best man. Well, what you put out, you will get back. And if you really truly want love, I believe it's there for all of us. So we
Thank
wish
you,
you well.
Crystal.
We wish you much love and success. And like I said, please keep me posted on the swimwear line because I definitely want to support it. Tony jumps. You know what? Tony's in the chat. Tony's in the chat.
What'd
Um,
he say?
he,
What'd he say?
he just said hello, and I see Jeffrey in the chat.
Hey y'all. Hey Sissy. Hi Tony. Whoever else in there watching. Hey y'all. I love me some Jeffrey. That's my baby, man.
I
That is
see.
my baby. If I didn't leave that process with anybody else, like that's literally my sister, like sister in Christ, friend. It's just so important to have somebody to go through this process with.
Yeah,
Because I don't care how close I am with my best friends, friends, or family. It's not the same as someone that
went through
understands
that.
and knows the journey. So I'm so grateful for her. Love you, Jeffrey.
Anybody else that you're super close to?
Not super close, but I love me some Cynthia. I'm cool with the guys for the most part. I'm not really on the phone. I love me some Mark Anthony. Oh, can I just say something real quick? Real quick. When I told Mark Anthony, you shut your ass up and stay over there.
Yeah,
That shit was so funny. Like they just chopped it down to just that. Nobody cared. We didn't talk about it. It
yeah.
was funny. But again, they're just taking only these little clips and making it seem like I'm so
You made it
mean.
look like you were just very.
No, that shit was funny. You shut your ass up and stay over there because these people know me.
Yeah.
They know my tone. They know what I'm capable of saying. Nobody was like, oh my God, she's so crazy. No, nobody said that. We were laughing. Go back and look. People on the stage was laughing because they know Morgan. I didn't mean any harm. That man loves me. I love him. It was never even a topic to be discussed. So that's that.
Yeah, we saw a different side of Mark Anthony at the reunion too. I was like, okay. He got
Mm-hmm.
a little kick to him. He got a little
Mm-hmm.
more than we saw during the season. Well, again, Morgan, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate
Thank you for having me.
our viewers definitely wanted to hear from Miss Morgan. We thank you for being candid and sharing your side of the story. Thank you, Tony, from up top for checking in.
Smooth Tony from up top. You in there?
And
Mm-hmm.
definitely we're wrapping up the Ready to Love conversations, but I'm glad that we were able to get you on. So again, much love and success, and please come back with Flex Swimwear.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. You're a pleasure.
All right, good night.
Okay, good night. Bye.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. We got some questions answered. Let me know what you think of this conversation. Make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe this if you're watching on Facebook, on Rolling Out's Facebook. Make sure that you share this so that other people can see the conversation from Miss Morgan's mouth herself. And we will be back on Thursday with Mercedes. We had to reschedule Mercedes. We got our times mixed up, and so she will be back on Thursday for more conversation. And then next week, I think we're going to be good with Ready to Love, and we're going to move on. We have Put a Ring on It review coming later this week with me and Kojo. And we've got to get back to Married at First Sight as well. Also, if you are in Atlanta, we want you to come out to the Sisters with Superpowers Gala. It's going to be at the W Hotel. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You guys can go to Rolling Out, put in Sister with Superpowers, and you can see the Eventbrite link where you can purchase your ticket. It's all about celebrating Black excellence, especially when it comes to women. So with that being said, I'm going to thank you guys once again for hanging out with me on a Tuesday night, and I will see you guys on Thursday with Miss Mercedes. Have a great week. Bye-bye.